Okay, welcome back. I realized in the last video on the G5 prototypes, number 5, 6, and 7, that I forgot to weigh the tuning slides. So here is the aluminum tuning slide, and it looks identical to all the others. Like here's the steel one. The aluminum is very lightweight. We're going to weigh it right here. It is 56 grams, or if we put it into ounces, 2 ounces. So that's the weight of the aluminum. Here's the stainless steel. Let me get up close so you can see it. Okay, so this is the stainless. It actually looks just like the aluminum. And weight is 4.5 ounces. In grams, that is 127 grams. Next is titanium. Again, looks identical to the others. In grams, that one is 84 grams. And in ounces, 3 ounces exact. And then the last one is actually the hex tuning slide from the G4 series. So this is a cast brass, looks like that. And obviously heavier. This is going to be most likely the most efficient, but also the most weight. And this one is 4.8 ounces, and in grams, that is 137 grams. So there we have the weights of all four. Okay, so let me put these back in the trumpets they belong in. So there's the aluminum. And we'll put the number 6 back together with the stainless steel. And the number 7, the titanium. So now all of these trumpets did sell. Right after that video went up on Friday, then we had people call in and they purchased all 3 of these. They are prototypes, like I said. In the previous video, we talked about the adhesives and the different materials and how they're experimental. I'm making more of them, and I will consider taking pre-orders if you want one of the upcoming prototypes with the nylon bracing, the stainless steel bracing, the 2 variations. I only have one more of the titanium, and that one already sold. So the second version of the titanium has sold before I could even mention that. The stainless steel, I think I have one more. And then after that, we have stainless steel that are laser engraved, and those are more interesting artistic horns. So those will be options if you want another prototype. And I will do other videos on the upcoming prototypes. There will actually be a page on our website that shows all the G4 and G5 prototypes and R&D, and it'll go through each of the prototypes that I think are important to mention, including these 3. And actually the link to these videos will be on that page. And then the last one was the G4 honeycomb, and this is serial number 1 of the G4 series. So let me put that back together, and that's the one I've been practicing on, that and the other G4. Now, in terms of the grand plan for these trumpets, the G4 is in production right now. So we are ironing out the final details on casting the tuning slides and eventually the bell crooks, which will be happening probably in a few days. And we've settled on a design where the end of the tuning slide will actually be a special piece that improves efficiency. So it'll look a little different than this, similar, but at the end there will be really an extra feature on the bell crook and the tuning slide. The finger rings are undergoing a little bit of a design change. Basically, I'm improving the radius so that it's a little more smooth on your fingers. And then the top bracing will remain the same. These are available in red brass bracing and tuning slide and bell crook and finger rings, or in bronze. We may have a copper version that comes out eventually. I'm not sure when that will happen. And remember, there is the simple strut version of this, which I don't have sitting here, but essentially that one is a lighter version of this. And both of those are great options if you're looking for a really high efficiency trumpet that is lighter than our previous generation. So this is known as the G4. Oh yes, and the G4 promotion pricing ends next Friday. Oh no, this Friday. This Friday. So just know that. I do want to play this a little more for you. In the last video, I played these 3 prototypes, but I didn't play the G4 Again, I'll go back to the Charlier so you can hear some of that. And you can hear, maybe I'll play a little bit on each one so you can hear the differences. As I mentioned in the previous video, I just started practicing the Charlier for a week. On Friday, when I finished that video and posted it, then I took the rest of the day off, and my wife and I went skiing in New Mexico for a few days, got a break from all the trumpets and all the R&D that we're doing here. So I haven't played for a few days, and that's a good thing. I probably needed the rest since I haven't practiced in so many years, and practicing for 7 or 8 days in a row was a lot for me. So let's see how it goes coming back. Got to move the stand closer. Should be able to do that in one breath. All right, I need a break. Whew. One thing to keep in mind as you're coming back to playing trumpet is that you do need a lot of blood flow in your lips. So this is a good time for me to talk about that because I'm going through this etude and I've only played it straight through like 5 or 6 times ever. So for me coming back, this is my first playing coming back from a few days off. I definitely want to be aware of the fact that if I don't have enough room between my teeth and my mouthpiece to vibrate and let blood flow, then I could be cutting the blood flow off. And you can hear, as I'm playing, my lips are vibrating less and less towards the end there because I'm getting tired. And I'm getting tired probably in my muscle, my embouchure muscles. So as I'm trying to form a smaller aperture to play higher notes, my muscles aren't used to doing that. I haven't warmed up or anything. So essentially what's happening is I'm starting to use mouthpiece pressure and I'm cutting off the blood flow to my lips. So what you need to do in that situation is that same thing you see kids do when they start playing trumpet. Get blood flowing in your lips by just buzzing them. And I find that doing really big wide buzzes like you're playing tuba is better than stuff like that. So what I want to do is just get the blood flowing in there. And when I've been practicing over the last week or so, I've been doing that quite a bit. I'll actually play a section of this and then maybe for 2 or 3 minutes sometimes to get things flowing again because I haven't played in years. So that kind of thing. All right, let's see where I was. I'll start back a little bit. And there's a breath mark there for some reason. Again, another time to maybe buzz. Just get the blood flowing. And when I talk about aperture controlled embouchure, the primary focus there is on the aperture muscles making the aperture change without mouthpiece pressure. The benefit to doing that is you have more blood flow. Because if I'm doing more of this kind of aperture change instead of mouthpiece pressure, the blood's already flowing in there. Now, in all fairness, that wasn't a great playthrough of Charlier, but you can see how I'm practicing doing it. And that's not really the point of this video, but also I'm always happy to share those techniques and those strategies because that's part of being a trumpet player. You're not going to pick up the horn and instantly be able to play a new etude or just pick up the horn after 10 or 20 or 30 years off and be able to play like that. I won't be able to play this whole etude straight through perfect for probably another few days. And that's after taking 3 days off, last week practicing 6 out of 7 days, and just coming back to it for the very first day, like 10 or 11 days ago. So don't expect too much of yourself. And I didn't practice it straight through fast like that all the time. I took it very slow. I actually sang the entire piece while fingering it. I practiced buzzing through it like this. I played the whole piece through several times without ever actually playing it by pulling my bottom lip off. So. And I worked on actually creating the pitches with my lips without fully touching the mouthpiece. That's another technique. Of course, I talk about these things in our Trumpet Momentum series, which is for subscribers only. But I want you to know that these kinds of approaches are really beneficial, and it's how I am, starting from square one, getting to where I am now. And hopefully in a few days I can record this for you straight through without any mistakes. That's the goal. And maybe even add some musicality and nail some of these accents, because that's the trick to this one, de l'articulation, which is obviously about articulation. So there's lots of accents and slurs, and the idea is to follow those and, of course, make it musical. And then there's these, what I think are unusual breath marks, and they're only unusual because they're in some unusual places. For instance, this section here in the middle, really it sounds like I'm flowing, everything's going just fine, and all of a sudden there's a breath mark where you never expect one. Listen to this. So clearly that breath mark doesn't need to be there because I have other places to take a breath. And let me play it once without that breath mark. But I just feel like it's important to learn to play the piece the way the composer wrote it, and then maybe make it your own by playing it other ways too. So that's actually the end of the last phrase, that E flat. And then it goes back to really a revision of the beginning. So that is the G4. The G4 series promotion discounts end this Friday. I highly recommend that if you're shopping for a new trumpet to consider this horn, because I've invested so much time over the years creating the first 3 generations. This is the 4th. This is just more efficient and lighter and projects more. It's easier to play those wide interval leaps. You can have it set up with your choice of lead pipe and bell, and we can set up the fingerings for the size and placement you like. And I promise to play a little bit on the other horns so you can compare it all in the same video, so let me do that now. But that is the G4. Now we'll move back to the G5 prototype, this one here. And that's the one that has the titanium tuning slide. I'll just play the ending. One thing I forgot to do is put the correct insert in here, so there was no insert. And I guess to be fair, I'll just use no insert on the other two. This is the stainless steel model. So this is number 6. And this one has a very different bell. The last trumpet was lead pipe 1, let me find it, lead pipe 1, bell 1 LT. And you can hear it's more vibrant, it's brighter. This one is lead pipe 1, bell 3R. And the tuning slides are pushed in. I apologize. I can hear it, and I was thinking, why am I playing so sharp? It's just because they're pushed in. I'll leave this one pushed in as well. This is the prototype number 5 with the nylon bracing, lead pipe 1, bell 1X LT. All right, a few more missed notes there. There you have a comparison of all three. And now we have the weights of all of the tuning slides. Other things I could have compared would be the weight of the mod kits, the top and bottom caps, and the finger buttons. Some of them had the Delrin machined valve stems. I only made a couple sets of those. At least I only have a couple sets right now. So they weren't on all of the instruments. And those may never become an option. I just did that to try it. It's not advised to use nylon or Delrin for valve stems, simply because the pistons can actually vibrate too much. So a couple of them had that, and I think the other one had the aluminum. And what I'd really recommend are the HEVs, the high efficiency valve stems, on all three. Other than that, we had some fingering changes or variances, and you can see on the stainless steel one we had the ergonomic. Those weigh more, and that accounts for some of the weight difference as well. If you have other questions about these prototype horns, or if you're interested in getting into one of the prototypes that I'm building in this series, I'm not sure how many there will be, but I have other adhesives and other materials that I will be testing. And if you want one of those and you want to get in on it before I film a video on it and it disappears because they sell so fast, just contact me. My number is 303-657-2747, or you can email me at harrelsonTrumpets@gmail.com. And the next video that will be coming out is going to be the Rumors and Dreams, and this is an interview with Terry Warburton. I want to give you a heads up. This is a really fun video. Terry is great on video, and he's just a great, fun, interesting genius in the trumpet world. And I really wanted to feature him in the Rumors and Dreams series of interviews. And then the other Rumors and Dreams, the Being Human series, I will be discussing all of the things that I've done in the last week and how that applies to us as human beings, which is really exploring the idea of exploration. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.